Welcome to Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Morocco. The ACIO has a long history of helping humanity from the deep recesses of time. This is the first time the ACIO has become available to the public, aside from an earlier visitation by their 15th Division, the Wingmakers. Peter the Insider, originally from Slovakia, is the director of their 12th Division, and Jessica Arael Morocco is in Cicada 3301, their 6th Division. Together, they provide intel, insights on current events, a deeper perspective on aliens and UFOs, super soldier missions with Unit 374 in the Merge, and news relevant for disclosure. Don't forget to subscribe to keep updated with our latest intel and post any questions and comments below.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Disclosures. And we are joined here with Peter the Insider and going to talk about some of the current events and anything else that comes up in the topic. So without further delay, let's welcome in Peter. Hello, Peter.
So I want to say hello to you, Jessica, and to all of our regular and maybe not so regular viewers and listeners.
So, Peter, you want to start off by giving us an update about what's going on regarding the mission that you had out in Slovakia, and also some of the information, historical information that came up, and maybe you can share that with us as well?
Yes, so pretty much we negotiate, or let's say negotiated, and we've got with with shadow group, aka we, Unit 374 in connection with you, so special unit for secret operation, HQ, and it was like, what is on table? Do you know what I mean? Like literally, it is like you will go to casino and you will just gamble, and I'm not kidding you, okay? It is literally like you will go to either to Vegas or to Monaco, to Monte Carlo, and it's like, okay, what do you have to offer? Maybe people will be like, nah, Insider is telling us crap. Literally, it was like that. And we ended up with some sort of, let's say, from my point of view, it was some sort of balance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've got their own stuff. We've got our own stuff. It will be not for long, 2 wars at least. Or war what is extremely close to Slovakia, with war in Ukraine. I don't want to be more specific about that, but it will be only matter of, I don't want to be extremely specific, matter of months, not approximately 1.5 years, something like that. What is pretty much, let's say, it is not that bad as people believe or believed at the time. After like half year, maybe 8-9 months, maybe 1 year, that it will be some sort of weird frozen conflict and it will be stuck. And pretty much the same case will be the war in Middle East with like in between Israel and Palestine. What it's kind of, let's say, people maybe don't believe me because it's like it absolutely doesn't make any sense once Iran is involved, and that's it. Let's say they need to make their own space because nobody took them serious, what I don't quite understand why. I never understood why. And once those countries will be, aka they are involved, it will be pretty much, how can I say it, the inner dynamic of the conflict will be much faster. Let's call it that way. It looks some sort of like it will have, let's say, like probability or and so on and so forth. It looks maybe like it absolutely doesn't make any sense, but it is good at this point that such a huge country, you know, with so many inhabitants and vast resources and all kind of that stuff, as Iran is pretty much involved, just by the way. Just by the way.
We know Iran is involved. They're in the background. They don't like people to be aware that they're very present.
Right now, yes. Right now, yes, you are right. That's true. And actually try to guess why. Because there is new set of historical site. I mean, they've got historical site, the archaeologists, they've got new historical sites of, you know, inventions, and they've got huge piece of technology. And they were like, you know what? If you really want to be involved, screw that, get involved, but you will get us your part of technology in advance. Maybe it absolutely doesn't make any sense at first sight, or maybe if you will hear it first time, but it makes sense. Because as I talked too many times, or let's say so many times before, all of those most valuable pieces of ancient technology, they are located in Middle East. That is pretty much the reason why so many superpowers are only like, hey, just go for the Middle Eastern region. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, you're 100% right, Peter. A lot of the technology has come out of there. A lot of wars have happened there. And then there's a lot of missing artifacts, missing artwork, missing archaeological finds, locations, and all of that have been buried over. The House of Ash.
I will tell you something. From my point of view, okay?
Yeah.
Those pieces of technologies, they definitely should not be touched. It is like something like Pandora's box, and they're like, no, yeah. Like hundreds locks and something like that, like huge locks, fingertip opening, and I don't know, biometrical, as Apple has Face ID and also all kind of that stuff. And please don't touch. You know, there are certain things, because those civilizations, be honest, okay, some of them shifted to 5G. But another of them were destroyed because of this piece of technique. You know, it is if someone likes it or not, and it is like, what the heck? This is source of destruction, and you need to, quote unquote, wake up it again. Are you furious? Are you, let's say, sane? No, you are not sane. Oh my God.
Well, that's interesting you said that, because there were a few civilizations that went into 5D that jumped in, like the Anasazi. which is over.
At least what we know. At least what we know. It is Atlantis, Lemuria, Shangri-La, Anasazi, and at least one or two, I don't know, like 5 or 6 of them. What we know.
Shambhala.
And Shambhala, yeah, and Shambhala, yeah, 5 of them, yeah. As you said,
what was it? Atlantis, Lemuria, Shangri-La,
Shambhala, and Anasazi.
Anasazi. And what about the Mayans? Some of the Mayans too?
Give me a second. Ancient Mayans, aka they existed way before, I mean time-wise, the ones Spanish conquistadors pretty much they destroyed. Not that Mayans, but let's say the original ones. Yeah, you get it. Like I always forget about ancient Mayans. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah,
correct.
and there's also like the Toltec too. I think that they
Toltecs. Yeah, exactly.
So and this, where does this technology come from? Is this Anunnaki or?
Give me a second. Anunnaki doesn't exist. Please, Jessica, what is wrong? No.
You said where it originally came from.
Originally, Anunnaki doesn't exist for 6 million of years, please.
So
from
who brought
Elohims, from Elohims. Elohims are good guys. Problem is, it's like they gave technology, and they gave so to say instruction manual. But there is one problem, only very tiny little problem. Instruction manual, but they didn't translate it. So it pretty much, it sucks. It was worthless. And it was like, let's say, guess-ish, like try and learn method. And that is the reason why in most cases, aka like 80-90%, it ended up like absolute disaster.
Is it possible that since it started in Atlantis, in Lemuria, it did the technology
and Shangri-La.
Since it started way back then, so the technology was that old.
Oh, give me a second. Way much
Predates
older.
Elohim.
Give me a second. Yeah. Way much older. It was only brought to Earth at that time, but originally technology is millions of years old. Do you know what I mean? Right. Only it is quotes in quotes old for Earth like that because they, aka Elohims, need to reverse/back engineer in order to work on Earth, or let's say under Earth conditions. Do you know what I mean? Like physics, chemistry, and all kind of the basic natural laws. And do you know what I mean? Like principles, like that.
Yeah. So, all right, they're operating that. And is there a civilization that they're looking to do this to? Or do you have an idea who Iran is?
Give me a second. They get it like free. Do you know what I mean?
Who are they targeting?
No one. They just gave technology, and it was like, okay, who will be able to start operate technology? But there is this problem. Look, it is like, for example, if you don't give a crap, I don't want to use rough words, about Chinese/Mandarin, and they will say something, for example, piece of electronics, and you are like, what? Like total different writing system, and you don't know what the heck is going on, and it was pretty much the same stuff. Yes, it will be fully functional, but it will be worthless for you once you don't know. And even the writings on knobs and buttons will be in their writing system. And you were like, whoa, 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 what? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense for you. You will be like, guess, lucky guess, bad luck, good luck. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's it.
Okay, so just a thought, right?
Okay.
Or as they say, I'm going to play the devil's advocate. You know, that statement. Don't go off, just hold on.
Okay.
What if Iran decided to use that to put people into 5D, such as Israel or America or someone that they really don't like right now?
I will tell you something. It not work like that.
Okay.
It not work like that because there is one big problem. They need, and this is it, fuse reactor. My bad. Fuse reactors, energy of multiple fuse reactors. There is another problem, let's say second stage of problem. All of those reactors should be in coherency. How can I say it? In one phase. How in the world you will get 8 reactors in one phase? It doesn't make any sense. It is like you will go to, I know, nuclear reactor. It's not fusion, but I'm just saying electric energy, because it is energy, okay? You cannot, if you will go to standard nuclear power plant, make reactors in a phase, and I will tell you why. Because there are phases, and they need to get, do you know what I'm trying to say? As you have sinus, do you know what I mean, or cosinus, and you need to make them, because once you will do that, the wires, do you know what I mean, like 220 or 440 kilovolts and all kind of that stuff, it will fry those wires. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And that is the reason why it is not possible to do so. And this technology pretty much counts, or let's say it is based on that. Like, hey guys, what the heck? Are you that stupid that you cannot make wires that they will hold still? Do you know what I'm trying to say? All of that kind of like crazy, how can I say it, booming, do you know what I mean, energy? And that's the reason. So even if extremely highly hypothetical, Iran will be, quotes in quotes, friendly country with US. Well, we know that it is not the case, okay? It will be impossible to get in coherency, or let's say, AKA, in phase, all of those 8 reactors. They've got, Monarch has in their huge DUMBs, the underground military bases on, on American-Canadian borders near Great Lakes, my bad. But there is one problem. They figured out, of course, not with Iran, but they, aka the Monarch, and this is it. It is second part of Monarch. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Second part of Monarch mini series of the shows. They figured out that they need to have, quotes in quotes, energy boost from CERN in Switzerland. And it is 0 chance to make 9 reactors, fuse reactors, okay, like in perfect phase. 0 chance. I mean, yes, okay, but it is pretty much like that. Like you will go to, you know, lottery and you will get lotto like for I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars. Do you know what I mean? It is pretty much something like that. Yes, probability is, but you know what I'm trying to say. There is a chance. But I'm just making some sort of parallel for that.
But they're psycho enough to do that, to say, hey, let's try this. I mean, like they're.
Yes, okay, and they will destroy the whole reality.
That's what I'm saying. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to do. It's like they're in some kind of thoughts of, I don't know, either that they can't be destroyed, an illusion of their power.
I will tell you something, Jessica. They are not that stupid. They are not that stupid. They were few years back. But now, right now, they are definitely not. Yes, you are right. Let's say you supposed to be right few years back. I'm talking like 6, 7, maybe 8 years back, and more into the past. But they figured out, you know what, guys, it is impossible, because even they figured out like, but we will not have enough time to figure out. I don't want to say figure out how and where to I don't want to say move, but let's say run away. But there will be not enough time. Like they will open the portal, but there will be only so tiny little period of time that they will not, quotes in quotes, catch the train or catch the airplane, call it as you like. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Or catch the metro, you know what I mean, like under, that's it.
They're like brilliant people that have an aspect to them that's not very bright. It's a combination. They're missing the obvious that everyone else is seeing, but they're so intelligent that they're amazed by what they're discovering or the technology that they're realizing about. And then they're missing the bigger picture. Maybe they just have a huge disconnect with humanity, whether or not anything living has value by the way that they play.
Give me a second, please. Give me a second, please. Okay. You were right, but once again, it was actual, like, I don't want to say 6, 7, 8 years before. So pretty much they were like, okay. But then they were like, we will be not able to catch it. Or let's say they lived in some sort of very weird, not illusion, delusion. And there were only very small circle, let's say group of scientists. They told them, those scientists from the very start, hey guys, stop. You cannot trick physics, trick, natural, aka universal laws and all kind of that stuff. And they made, the elites, the people they owned, the corporations, they made fun from them in the first place. But let's say since let's say pandemic hit the fan and all kind of that stuff, and because of isolation and because of people being, give me a second, them included, just by the way, being isolated, they have one important thing, or they have had enough time to think deeply, okay? Or let's say not enough, let's say plenty of time to think deeply enough. And they were like, oh my God, those scientists, the guys, they are right. And that is the reason why they don't want to risk it. Because otherwise, it will be variant A, aka what you, pardon me, aka what you said. They absolutely don't care about like 8 billions of people and all kind of that stuff. No, absolutely, they don't care about it. Or let's say they didn't care about it. Or let's say about them, they didn't care about planet and you know, like animals, plants, and all kind of that stuff. But once they figured out that this is, or let's say this will be not the case for them, this aka like that they will be not able to run away during the process, they are like, you know what, guys, stop. We will not deal with this anymore. So sorry for that. I know it is rude, it is impolite to interrupt you and all kind of that stuff, but I'm just trying to, let's say, make it clear how they change their mind, or let's say their point of view about the whole topic. Okay? And I've got it from, let's say, first-hand info, because we've got infiltrators in all those corporations. I don't want to be more specific because I don't want to jeopardize the mission.
Yeah. So let's say, for example, right now, it's okay. But at any moment, if something switches in power within any of these corporations, or there is someone that infiltrates from a negative side, that at any moment something like this could switch over into a very bad or dangerous scenario.
You are absolutely right. You nailed it 100%. That's correct. But I will say yes or no, and you are like, what, why? I will say nope, because our people, our agents, I will need to say like that, are extremely deeply infiltrated, and they are keep an eye on that. Like nothing like that will happen. Like that, I mean that somebody from extremely negative groups and with negative intentions will be involved. No, like no.
Right.
That is at least one very good you know, piece of news, piece of intel. What do you think about it, huh?
I don't know if I like the idea that any of the leadership on this planet, I'm not just saying Iran, I think it would be equally dangerous for any nation to have this technology. I personally don't like the idea that they have access to it.
Please give me a second. Please give me a second. What I am saying, they do not have enough power. You know what I mean? To get it to work. Nope. Nope.
All right, I guess we'll return to this conversation another time.
No, give me a second. I mean it for real. I mean it for real. It is pretty much this.
I have a bad gut feeling on this one. This doesn't feel right to me. But anyhow.
It is pretty much like, it is pretty much something like, it is pretty much something like, for example, okay? Something like, yes, they want, they did, and all kind of that stuff, you know? And, I mean, they, my bad, sorry, the monarch. And it is like, you get, let's say, two parts, but one part is missing another. So A, or let's say first part of problem for monarch. They don't have access to technology in the first place. And even if they will be able to collect, quotes in quotes, all of the parts of technology, or let's say missing parts of technology from the Middle East, somehow miraculously to get them together, piece them to back piece together, and get them to work, it will be completely worthless for them anyway, because they will have still not, I mean, let's say they will have enough power once they will start 8 reactors, but still not work, because only via, or let's say thanks to CERN, they will get in perfect phase. All of them, I mean 8 of them. And it is like, I don't know how many, not dozens, but hundreds of people they will be in total in one operation. And you know, these like computers and all kind of that stuff. It is, as I said, yes, there is a probability, but it is like, okay, you will go to lottery and you will maybe get a full jackpot. Do you know what I mean? It is pretty much like that, you know. So I'm just saying. I mean, give me a second. I am saying what we've got as ACIO as latest brand new information. Okay, that's it.
Okay. So, anything else that you want to say about the border? Slovakia is, you're in agreement to...
Yes, and do you know what is absolutely crazy for me? That they will start, despite it doesn't look like that, it is only about a matter of few months, they will start some sort of balance-ish stuff, you know, in between Ukraine and Russia. They will start those negotiations in Ankara in Turkey, and the Ukrainian President Zelensky invited our freshly brand new elected president Peter Pellegrini. Is like, okay, I want this gentleman and his administration like being present. So many people don't like him in Slovakia because it's like, what? It is not Slovakian surname. He is 1/4 Italian, you know. It's like, yeah, it's, I don't quite understand why, because I will tell you something. No judging. In US or in West European countries, multiculturalism, it is not a big deal, okay? So you like, what? What is their problem? But for us, despite in let's say last 10, maybe 15 years, 10, 12, maybe 15 years, it rapidly started to rise, especially our women, you know, being married or in long-term relationships, and they've got children with a man from another countries. But for us, it's like, what? It doesn't make any sense to have, I mean, for many, and especially older Slovak people, it's like, what? It doesn't even have Slovak name, you know. We are just a little bit, I don't want to say more, but very conservative in comparison with Western world, you know.
Yeah,
but he's very good. He's very good at pretty much everything what he's doing, because he was prime minister, he was chief of parliament, and now he's president. So all kind of three highest level position possible in our country. No one else has something like that in our history. Just by the way.
Well, historically, the Italians or the Romans came through that area. They had, I think, the roads led to that region.
Yeah, we've got biotech. They've got it's extremely rare and very valued coin. What is pretty much just, by the way, it is something like, let's say, our national bank, and it is in logo of our national bank, biotech. Yeah, yeah, and it was pure gold, just by the way.
Yeah, it would have been way back then, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just FYI, you know.
So you wanted to give me an update too of something that you're really excited about, or just, it's kind of like we have our, is it like a 4th of July, a celebration of something that happened?
Definitely,
And
we've got you've got in United States 4th July, aka Independence Day, or for example, you've got Thanksgiving's Day, but you know, Thanksgiving Day, it's different story because it is movable feast. But 4th July is always 4th July, and we can talk about. Can we go to Wikipedia page first, please? So we are talking about Warsaw Uprising, and it is like, or let's say it durates for 63 days, and it was, you know, like 1200 Warsaw heroes. They are calling them Warsaw heroes. You know, took, you know, decision to race against Nazi Germany controlled pretty much city, because it was pretty much German city at that time. It was only like Polish territory, but there were like 50,000 German soldiers only included, not included officers like drivers, you know, people, they were mechanicians or doctors, nurseries, and all kind of that stuff. And it is absolutely crazy, like absolutely crazy, you know, or it was pretty much. And the fact is that from my point of view, it was because I am Slovak, okay? I am not Polish. But me being Slovak and the Polish people being Slavic people too, and just by the way, they are our northern neighborhood country, you know, it's still, you know, is big deal for me. For you, maybe it is not that big deal, but for me, it is very big deal, believe me. They made extremely good movie about it, Polish people, and they are making reconstructions because it is 18th century of this event. They are making historical reconstructions of the whole fights and battles. You know, even Germans sent the military equipment and techniques, you know, piece of techniques in order to make it as close as possible to the actual historical events and the people, how they looks, the German officers. So it is quite impressive for let's say Polish people. It is like in 20th century, it's deal breaker for them, you know. Because look, it's like 1,200 against 50,000. All of them, they knew that all of them, they are dead. They knew it since the very start. So of course, what are, or that, let's say, what is the aftermath? All of the people they raised, according, it is like complicated to say, but approximately according to dates, or let's say the historical data, from 15 to 20,000 civilians, all of those people were killed. So approximately like 16, 17 to 21, 22,000 people in total were killed. I mean, Polish people, and 90% of Warsaw was destroyed, like dumped by Wehrmacht, you know. Yeah, it is absolutely crazy.
In addition, between 150,000 to 200,000 Polish civilians died, mostly from mass executions. Even the Jews being harbored by the Poles were exposed by German house-to-house clearances and mass evictions of entire neighborhoods. The defeat of the Warsaw Uprising also further decimated urban areas of Poland. I mean,
Yeah.
It sounded like it was very pivotal in World
I
War
mean,
II.
give me a second, but I'm talking about, look, I'm talking about Polish resistance and how many people, civilians, killed, because it was only during like first week or so, and or maybe 2 weeks, and aftermath, like last after AKA that 6 or 7 weeks after that, they get it like 10 times more. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So only in first week they killed in between to 15 to 20,000, and in the next 6 or 7 weeks, they were raging. As you read, like that, it was absolutely crazy. Yes.
But then so they were outnumbered, but they had someone in the German military, a leadership in the German military. You said that was actually Polish. He was like a mole,
yes,
right?
That's correct. And we are talking about Polish national war hero. What is, and I can say it loud, Stanisław Kołczycki. He doesn't have high military rank, but he got one thing: he got courage. And this
With a K or C?
yeah, K.
For
Kołczycki,
Oh.
LL, like London.
Right here, is that it?
Yeah, I mean, it is just an actor, because pretty much there were only few photos, and pretty much no one knows 100% how he looks like. What they know, actually, better than that he originally looks, that he get on, let's say, underwent some sort of plastic surgery, if we want to call it plastic surgery, in 1940s. Do you know what I mean? Because he stole identity of Captain Stefan Kloss. He was a Nazi German Wehrmacht captain who was killed in early stages of invasion, when Germans invaded Poland. It was fall, aka autumn 1939, and this war hero was able to keep this identity for almost 5 years. and he fell as a war hero in this uprising, or let's say during the uprising. I'm just saying. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Because give me a second, going back to those numbers, what I said, 15 to 20,000 civilians were killed. Give me a second. During first week, because Germans believed that once they will get mass, like vast, attacks, that those people, they decided to let's say raise, that they will stop. But it only gave them more courage, and even civilians start to help them. And that was the reason why so many civilians were killed, just by the way.
Well, I think they figured that they were going to die either way, so they just went all for it and thought they were.
Yes, you get it. It was like, do you know what?
Yeah.
We will get either way or another way. Screw that. Exactly.
So they went all full force and took some casualties with them, but it sounded like being so outnumbered, it almost sounds a little miraculous, which is the reason why it's something to talk about, because we don't ever hear about this part of the history in the United States about what actually happened over there. You only hear, we have perspectives. So there's different groups that have their perspective of what they want to talk about, what happened in World War II. But then there's a lot of information in between that people aren't aware of.
Because look, Jessica, outside the Poland, or maybe neighborhood countries like us, Slovakia, maybe, like Czech Republic, maybe former Soviet Union, now it is Belarus, pretty much no one knows it. And I mean, like, no one. Of course, people knew that Warsaw was pretty much destroyed, like dumped, but almost no one knew why. That's the reason. No one knows do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, no one knows. And now, only like, let's say, last 15, 20 years, the truth start to come out. You know what I mean?
Well, they felt safe.
I think, from my point of view, I think that people all around the world should know the truth. I'm just trying to say,
There's a lot of truths out there that haven't been shared yet. People are starting to get the idea that when they find a piece of knowledge or history that the public isn't aware of, they put it on social media, and then it spreads, and it's an incredible educational tool, because then other people get in and start to research what that one person says to validate it. And it's creating quite a community of sharing and kind of eye-opening information, because we never realized that all of these things were happening around us, as they were very particular about what part or perspective of history that they wanted to teach.
And I will tell you something. One honorous man, Martin Schwantner, written in German, and nobody knows about him. Nobody. He's not written. You will get all the internet, and there is no single sign of him. He is pretty much from the very close region when I am originally from, in Slovakia. And he, quotes in quotes, has honor to fight with Germans in Western Front. He ended up in Auschwitz, and tried to guess what? He helped so many tremendous amounts of Jewish people to get them out. He risked his life. because
there's a lot, there's a lot of heroes.
Give me a second. There were 16 people of them. He was the leader of the crew of the shift, let's call it that way. There was pretty much his direct underman and 14 regular members. And do you know what? He knew that the guys, they will go directly after them. They were the worst Germans of all. They were from Prussia, and they will say, and he will say, just people, go, because they will kill us all. They will go with machine guns and they will dump us. It was so crazy, night after night. Jessica, for 18 months, night after night. It is crazy.
Yeah, it's a nightmare that none of us want to know about. None of us want to experience.
No, but give me a second. I'm just saying, look, for example, they've got small doses of meals.
Mm-hmm.
And they just share the meal with those people. It is crazy. Yeah. And nobody knows about it. Nobody.
That's what people need to understand, the human side of things, and that, to help out each other as much as you can.
Yes.
Because
they were smart enough to trick another people that they've got huge bags with sand and big rocks, and another crew members asked, what is it for? And he said, look, just do it. And do you know what? They beat it to those huge packs of sand instead of beating the prisoners. And he was like, because it sounded perfectly like once you will beat the human body and hit the bones, the joints and everything. It was crazy. And once like 2 or 3 of the regular members asked him why he's doing all of this. And he said one thing. What do you think, how it will be if you will be behind the bars? And after that, no one else asked another thing. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like for trying to think about things. Not just, I hate people because, and they are Arabic, they are Jewish because they are, I don't know, some of them are Asian and other of them are African Americans. I'm not saying that I hate something, but someone, but I'm just saying because of stupid things. And those people were/are true heroes. It is crazy.
There's many what they call unsung heroes. There's many of them, and I've met people like that. You won't ever see them bragging about themselves.
Yeah, no,
they're very low key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
I would prefer one of those people in my life than 100 people that just brag and boast about stuff that they never did.
I know. Do you know what? Once I met this guy, this Martin, he was just regular guy, old guy. He never bragged about any of this. Oh my God.
Now, I have Vietnam veterans around me, and I talk to them every now and then. And they're the most humble people in the world, that they know that, what they went through, and they did what they thought was right. And they almost like they're, they'll wear the hat, or they'll, kind of dress up a little bit in a way where they can at least show that they're proud of what they did, at least, or that they serve their country. We'll say it like that, because I'm sure it was a nightmare for everyone. But for the most part, it's one of those things where, you know, a lot of places you're not free to show that you were involved with the Vietnam War without people attacking you or saying something.
Oh yeah, you are right.
But around me, that's just fine, and I would back them in a second. Now, to say that I'm against Vietnamese people, not at all. I've met plenty of Vietnamese people, and they too are victims in this situation. And it's just like anything. There's a lot of different perspectives to look at things, but there's usually those that are the decision makers that most people will never meet. They will never meet these decision makers, and they're the ones that cause all the pain.
Suffering and pain. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And me, I am, let's say, telling this from first-hand experience. Being involved in military and special army units, like, nope. I saw way too much sorrow, suffering, pain, and helpless people. Yeah, look at that. This is powerful video. 40
That's
to 1.
Sabaton, right?
Yeah, that's Sabaton. I think you should mute because it will be a copyright strike.
Yeah, no, we're not going to play it. Why don't you tell everyone what Sabaton does here?
It is Sabaton 40-1, so 40 to 1. It's the name of the song. And this gentleman shooting and throwing the Molotov cocktails from the windows and you know, and the rooftops. That is Stanislav Koletsky. Yeah, that's true. Look how many Germans. Look at that. It is absolutely crazy. And they know. All of those people, they know. The officers, as you showed, officers. Yeah.
That's isn't that actor? Is it John Voight, the actor that's in this?
Yeah. That's
Angelina Jolie's father.
Yeah, you were right.
But he's the one that plays Stanislav right here, right?
No. There is another one. No. That's him in Nazi German uniform. We need to figure out where the heck it is. We need to move it. No, that's him. No. In the... crap. Where the heck it is? We need to get it. Nope. That's John Wojcicki, by the way, you got it. And we need to... Yeah, that's him.
Try to get it.
Yeah, correct. That's him. That's Stanislav Koletsky. That's him. Look, Nazi uniform, you know. Yeah, that's him.
So there's a lot of stuff like that happening because especially the bordering nations, the people would know how to speak German or Austrian.
Yes, he was. So pretty much 2 main factors how he was able to steal or say stole identity of Captain Kloss, Stefan Kloss. They look extremely similar in the first place, and Stanislav Koletsky has had relatives in Germany. So pretty much he was able to learn very good German, even without having some sort of weird Slavic accent, just by the way.
There was another movie that we looked at. I think it's called The Captain. And it's not the same scenario, but it's similar in a way where he's a lower ranking German soldier who takes on like an officer's position, like puts on the uniform. This movie right here called The Captain.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like similar in a sense where he plays as if he is in that role of a higher ranking soldier. And he reminded me of I felt like it was connected to maybe one of our super soldiers. So but getting back to what you were saying, it is something to be proud of, and you know, I hope that you were
He's
able
war
to,
hero, and not only pretty much war hero, he's like national hero. And I will tell you something, like he is. You know what I mean? Like he has all the right to be called like that.
right.
He has all the right. That's this gentleman. Oh my God.
And that enabled Poland to be freed from that
Yes,
situation.
he was so deeply infiltrated, and he played the major role in, let's say, not one, it was like 1.5, almost 2 years movement of heavy resistance. Just few people, let's say, being chosen with extremely, I don't want to say bad training, but how in the world they can be trained military once Germans took the whole Poland over. Do you know what I mean? In the first place. And they've got only very bad equipment, I mean bad shape, and only very few amounts of equipment. They have low ammo and ammunition and all kind of that stuff. But despite only the, how can I say it, like only fact that they quote unquote dare to do so. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I mean, dare from German point of view, you know, because once again, they were brave. They
So
were
here's
very brave.
here's an idea, Peter, that because prior to the war, there's lore, it's lore, but there is some suspicion that there was literally a box. These people were doing a seance, and they opened up some kind of demonic or otherworldly energy in the space of Poland. And then the war broke out in Poland. And then later on, we have cyberpunk. So we're talking about some kind of
It is making cycles and cycles and cycles. Yes, that's correct. It is not just a lore. I know, and I know it is for fact in the first place. And in the second place, try to guess where this happened. Try to guess when this happened, or let's say when. How can I say it? When this took place, where and when. It was in Lublin. It is extremely traditional Polish city, and it was stolen pretty much to the Warsaw, and that was the reason. Look, just open it, please, for us. No, please, can you open the photo of it? Yeah. And pretty much there should be an essence. There were the bottles and glasses, and if you make a cocktail, there will be an essence, literally the cocktail of life. But give me a second. If you will get it right, that means in correct, how can I say it? Like 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Do you know? Oh, I mean 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, or let's say 1, 3, 2, 4, or 1, 3, 4, 2. Do you know what I mean? I don't know the exact You know what I'm trying to say? Numbering. It will be cocktail of pure creation. But if you screw this process, you will create cocktail of pure destruction. And give me a second. It was ancient Jewish artifact. So, in the first place, Germans invaded Poland, and in the second place, why Hitler was so obsessed with anti-Semitic stuff. Do you know what I mean? It makes perfect sense. Because they screwed whoever the rabbis, not rabbins, rabbis are above normal rabbins. They are pretty much the rabbins too, but let's say they are more enhanced and advanced in, let's say once they got Torah, Talmud, and Kabbalah and all kind of that stuff. But somehow in the process they screwed it. Because this is not about correct, like which kind of bottle you will do it, but in which kind of glass you will get each part. And they screw it in the process. Don't ask me how. We have this in ACIO records, but there are no details what happened. They simply screwed it. And that was it for Jewish people, for Hebrew people, and in the first place. And for Poland in the second place. Pure destruction. Do you know what I mean? It was pretty much some sort of like, help me, Pandora's box. If you know what to do it, how to do it, oh my God, great, perfect. But if you will not, your life, and pretty much not only your life and an existence of your community, land where you are from, it is dumped. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It was very valid point. Jessica, it is not a lore. Definitely not. It really happened.
And I believe it happened.
I believe please, give me a second. And do you know where? In 1920. Pretty much shortly after Hitler somehow miraculously started to believe that because he didn't obey the order in order to stay, in trenches in First World War, and he ran out, and there were heavy bombs through. The enemy soldiers threw heavy bombs into the trenches. They exploded, and all of the soldiers were killed, and only he survived. And just because of that, in his sick-minded, wicked-minded head, he started to believe that he is, quotes in quotes, something special, someone special, that he got closer connection with God and all kind of those nonsenses. That was the, quotes in quotes, direct road to Mein Kampf, aka My Fight, his book, we know it. And we know rest of the, how he pretty much fooled the whole nation, and we know how it ends. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And do you know what?
Yeah, it's all.
No, give me a second. And do you know what is the craziest part of the craziest, thickest, wicked-minded stuff? You know what? That everything of this, please, just pay attention. That everything of this was settled by monarch in combination with Mobius.
And Shaw House, because I saw Shaw House around.
Yeah, and Shaw House. Shadow Group was also involved. Why in the world not? They are pretty much involved in pretty much any kind of event / set of events where and when destruction and problems took place or is taken place. So we know. Yes, it's officially out because those rabbis were at the time were extremely highly and well educated. But something distracted them during this process. And this something was, quotes in quotes, error in the matrix. Do you know what I mean? Give me a second.
Yep.
Intentionally created by Mobius. That is it. We get it.
And they also said that he had Jewish ancestry.
Oh yeah.
Hitler.
One quarter Jewish. That's true. That's correct. Yeah, yeah.
It's related to, was it one of the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers or something like that?
Rockefellers, if I am not mistaken, because pretty much Rockefellers, they had Standard Oil, and if we are comparing the value of money, I mean at that time with today's, or let's say nowadays money, the Rockefellers, especially the old man, John D. Rockefeller the first, is still the wealthiest man in the world. If he will live nowadays, or let's say today, with, let's say, if we count the money, the value of the money from those days to nowadays money. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. So it's kind of, how can I say it, like unexpected twist of events. What do you think, huh?
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, so this is, we're talking a bit about Poland. This is a movie that was derived from the Dybbuk box, as someone created a movie. It's probably not true to history, but interesting of something to look at. And they said that there was an entity in there, and look at, or it means the taker of children, which is a huge problem that we're having. The taker of children.
Give me a second. I have 2 children. And I didn't knew about them since they were 20 years old. Now I've got another 2 children, but they are super soldiers, so they aged extremely rapidly, and now they looked, or let's say they equals like physical age 21, and they will never age physically anymore, just by the way. I'm just saying.
Are we gonna meet them sometime?
Oh, of course, yes.
Okay.
And this
is
just by the way, cyberpunk as reality, you can get any sort of year, not only 2077, was created too. No, give me a second. Not because of video game, but as whole scenario, the reality. It started in 6th Republic of Poland. And they created, I mean, give me a second, they traveled back in time and they were like, hey, they just knocked to the forehead and it was like, hey, stop, guys, you are here. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And that is it. I'm not kidding you. No?
That's where you get all those time travelers, young kids that are coming back saying, you know, I'm a time traveler, and you know, and they start talking about their different things that they'd experienced, and they seem to come from that region a lot, whether it's Russia or borderline those areas.
That's absolutely correct. That's absolutely, and give me a second. They are 100% legit. But it's like, I don't believe that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, nah, everyone, I don't want to say everyone, anyone can say, nah, I'm time traveler. But yeah, it is how it is.
Some of them are true, some of them are not true. But here's, so you see, this is the Polish People's Republic. And we're talking.
Or let's say Sixth Republic of Poland. Yeah, that's correct.
Warsaw. Polish Armed Forces. Since the mid-century, Poland has been a corridor for its powerful neighbors, Russia, Germany, and Sweden. Even though Poland was partitioned several times, the Polish people have always kept their culture alive. This is what makes this country interesting to cyberpunks from all over Europe. Polish ingenuity is a talent Westerners are in awe of. This is especially true in these troubled times. The stock market crashed in '94, killed the foreign investment, and moved into after the fall of the Eastern Bloc. And then it goes on and it tells a little bit of story here about what had happened. Is this related to some of the history, or is this what their history is?
It's kind of like a history to the future, but give me a second. Future from our point of view, just by the way, we are talking our point of view. This show is pre-recorded in early August 2024 and so on and so on. Just by the way, you know.
Right.
We need to be 100% correct. Am I right?
Right. And but this history, this future is dystopian. So
is and give me a second. Is and it is not. I will tell you why. It is like if we will screw in I don't want to say all, but most aspects of a life, it should be a memento. Like, do you know what, guys? You will end up just like that. But if we will, it is pretty much like you got this story-driven video games where graphics, it's not that important because those video games are story-driven. And it is like in this video game, you've got plenty options to choose from, and your choices will. It is some sort of disclaimer in the very start of the video game, and this is like that in the very end of the disclaimer. Choose wisely. Do you know what I mean? Because any single major decision can highly, or let's say it will affect your future, like big time. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Not really. So you're saying that choose wisely, you know, while you're living
choose wisely
here?
That means like you need to be very wise in your decisions. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but so you're saying, is it magnified? It's magnified regarding what happens in the future.
Yes, exactly. Because it is like maybe nowadays it's like, what? Why this is so important? And then like, aye, this is really important. Or let's say it was important, but most of us as a people, as a mankind, we are able to, let's say, realize it only once it is already late. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's two different directions that I could go into. This right here came out. So we're talking about cyberpunk, we're talking about Poland, and this is Comic-Con and cosplay where people get dressed up.
Yeah.
And remember, what did the Dybbuk box say? The danger for children. Here is people dressed up, sort of like cyberpunk in a way, and children were being trafficked.
That's correct. Give me a second. That's correct. That's correct.
Right?
Yeah.
They're luring children into scenarios where these Comic-Cons, where you have these even like, you know, teenagers or preteens that want to dress up in outfits. I mean, if you're an adult and you're doing it, still, it can be dangerous.
But I will tell you something. I will tell you something. You will be like, hey, Peter, why in the world you are talking about it? But if you will go to Japan, it is absolutely normal, especially like after 7, 8 p.m. Once you will go outside on the streets of Tokyo, Yokohama, you know, Osaka, and of those kind of huge cities, let's call them megalopolis, and you will see them like, oh my God, what the heck is that? You know, they're like manga-ish and, you know, like Comic-Cons, and those people will never hurt you, but it is part of the natural pop culture. Let's call it that way.
Well, I'm not saying that they would hurt anyone, but you see this, it says undercover officers posing as sex buyers at a Comic-Con event rescued human trafficking victims, including a 16-year-old girl. So the people that are dressing up, these young kids that are dressing up, are the victims, are the ones that.
Give me a second. I understand what you are saying.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting, and that happened in San Diego, by the way, at the Comic-Con there. The other thing I want to bring up too is related to the prisoner swap. What are your thoughts on that, Peter? Was this to free some dangerous people, or do you feel that, you know, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, some of the Americans were left there for quite a while, and, you know, during this administration, but who they traded for, what do you think? I mean, we had that whole thing with Makarov just being released, and then he came after us pretty quickly.
I will tell you something, okay? That's him.
Right here?
Another opportunity. Krasikov. Oh my. No. Why in the world? I told American authorities not to do this crap. Bad. Oh God, perfect. He got tons of different identities. Oh my God, great, perfect. No. Are they normal? Are they normal?
Roman, so you have Vladislav
Oh no, Roman Makarov, Roman Makarov, and
Seleznev.
no, give me a second. Roman Zeleznev, it's Roman Makarov, and if you go up, go up, please. And he's Vladimir Makarov and Roman Barkov. Oh my God! Why no? Why in the world? Why in the world they do this? They've been in locked and they did do this crap. Okay, perfect.
Seleznev, Roman Seleznev.
No, give me a second. Give me a second. I will tell you something, okay? I will tell you something. They've got something big on US officials, okay? They've got. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want. Problem is, why in the world Americans do this crap? We've got Roman Barkov, we've got Vladimir Makarov under the cage, and despite that, they've set them free. Oh my God. They set them free. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Great. Great. Perfect. Oh my God, that's absolutely crazy.
There's more. At least 12 political prisoners held in Russia are expected to be released to Germany.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those two Russian people. They are just, by the way, not even Russian. They are not a Russian nation. They just only been born in Russia, okay? But screw that in this phase. Oh my God! I told you.
Have them as hackers.
And that's the problem. They are saying hackers and all kind of nonsense. Oh my God, and they are terrorists. And just by the way, very important part of, or let's say parts of Shadow Group. Jessica.
So they're sending out the Shadow Group.
Two of them, the main one. Roman Barkov and Vladimir Makarov. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, yep. It makes sense. It makes sense because Russia has some sort of very big, like quote unquote, big aces on in the sleeve on US, but yeah.
Just Hunter alone. I mean, God, I can't imagine all of the problems that we've accrued.
Oh my God. And do you have idea why they are so furious? Help me, Hatter Show. Oh, and just by the way, but we've got Janet Show. I mean, like true Janet Show, not the one that she looks, and it is pretty much like Taylor Swift. But we've got. Oh my God.
We captured the
yeah. We captured her, and both of them looks extremely old. They look like late 80s, maybe early 90s. Oh my gosh, they look extremely old. They look extremely old. I was in shock. Oh my God. I don't know.
Let's see if we have anything that show her 20 years to come. There's a picture.
Something like that. She's extremely old, something like that. Extremely old. Screw that. You know, it looks like in one hand we get someone under the cage, then another people get freed. I mean, from shadow group and maybe from show house. It is frustrating. It is frustrating.
So they give you, you catch someone and then they do something else to just keep it going.
Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know what this is? So.
Well, good news. So at least we get the Shaw House is getting less weak, less strong.
Yeah.
That's good news.
Oh my.
But then they're letting out the shadow group prisoners.
That's two. Both of them. Crap.
One of them was right in Boston, right here.
Oh, great, perfect.
The whole time he was in Boston.
You know what? You can be happy that Boston wasn't dumped, like, for all. With all of those, the power they got. Oh my gosh.
You say it wasn't dumped. What do you mean?
Dumped, aka like being like, you know, all the military technique and everything, because they has a lot of power. And I mean, a lot. You know what I mean? Ooh. This is crazy. And just by the way, going back to the monarch, it looks they start to, or let's say they started to realize, as we said, once pandemic hit the fan, that they are way too big and they start to lose their influence. And I will tell you why. Because all of their 8 huge nuclear fusion, sorry, this needs to be edited. Because all of their huge 8 nuclear fusion reactors supplied and is still supplying Warrider core as an energy source. But there is just the one little bit tiny problem. And this problem is that the Warrider core in let's say last 4, 5, maybe 6 years, let's say 6 years, started to get unstable. But since the pandemic hit the fan, so since 2020, and since, let's say, military operation in Ukraine, and then another military operation, I mean, military operation in between Ukraine and Russia in the first place since 2022, and another stage, military operation between Israel and Palestinian in the second place. The whole Warrider core gets, or let's say, went extremely unstable. And they, I mean the guys, scientists, personnel, call them as you like, they are in charge of controlling all of those 8 reactors. They are pretty much like in permanency, 24/7 non-stop. So pretty much, let's say, we've got difficulties all around the world, but you know, all the worst things in the world, and I mean literally worst, has some sort of, let's say, positive, aka side effects, because that means they in the whole monarch, they have full hands of work, and they don't have time, people, and resources to, let's say, think how in the world they will destroy the whole world, the whole existence and everything, and how they will be shifted, and I mean they and the elite, I mean the hierarchy enslaving you. Do you know what I mean? This acronym in English. They simply don't have time. All of a sudden, time, as I said, people, resources, nothing, they lose it. So, it is like, yes, we have problem, or let's say we have had problems since, let's say, last 4.5 years. But still though, with the problems, there are, let's say, some sort of very good effects on another hand. You know what I'm trying to say.
So since I'm in the Walrider core, how does this impact me, or am I influencing?
You
that
are
situation?
Influencing Walrider core much more, because once you are not quotes in quotes passive, like all of those people, they were taken and they have no clue, or let's say they had and they still don't have no clue that they are in the Walrider at all, and especially in Walrider core, you can actively influence the whole scenario, and it is much better for you, / it should be. Let's take it that way.
Or and also to destabilize it, right? Because we don't want it to be stable. We want it to
I will tell you something. We want it stable once it will serve for ourselves. No. We actually, look, if we want to defeat them, we need to start use their own weapons against them. It is, let's say, one of basic rules in military tactics.
So this is, would you consider what I'm doing as a mission by being in there?
It is not what I consider. It is hella good piece of mission, and you are doing very solid work. Of course.
Well, thank you. That's good to know that it's working in the right direction.
No, I mean, Gemasika, this is very important mission. I am not kidding you.
No, I believe it, and I keep on thinking about that night where I could clearly see Murkoff walking past me with that dog, and I thought this was the strangest scenario. But I'm also grateful that you caught another one of the problems of Shaw House, and I'm hoping that calms some things down as well. So both Janet and Heather being caught, I think that's worth, I won't say celebrating yet, because we're still in missions right now, and the units 374, Kruger, as well as what's happening in Walrider, and more in SUSO operations.
You are right.
Yep. So anything else that you'd like to bring up, Peter?
From my point of view, we are fine and for this show, definitely. Yeah. That's pretty much it what I want to share today, and I want to say really one big thank you, Jessica, for giving me another opportunity to be on your channel. We are making these shows for very long period of time. I want to say thank you to all of our regular and maybe not so regular viewers and listeners, that they still study very end of the show with us. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay fine. And I'm really looking forward for next time. Hold tight and bye-bye.
But before you leave, Peter, I'm sorry to do this to you. I just wanted to mention that the past couple of months have been difficult because, as a team, we felt very unappreciative from some of the public and accusing us of different things, manipulating things, taking advantage of our information. And even someone saying that, oh, Jessica's getting groomed by Peter, or, like I'm being manipulated by her. So now they're switching it, right? And if I won't say groomed. I never felt that I was being groomed by Peter because I have all the freedom I need. But just in conversation for clarity, we, kind of have to keep it very strict so that people understand what we're talking about. But if I'm being trained as a soldier, because I was not trained formally, being trained as a soldier to assist humanity, I am grateful for that, even though if people want to switch and turn that into something nasty, or saying that it's, oh, she's being groomed, she's being controlled, or she's, supporting Peter, even though Peter needed this support to convey this information. Like they say that the rain falls for the good and the bad. A lot of people that hate us will benefit from the work that we did, the sacrifice that we did, and the help that we wanted everyone to benefit from. But I want those people to know that you should be ashamed for some of the things that you're saying, not just about us, but about other people and the nastiness. And you really need to find a better purpose. Why don't you join in helping the cause instead of hurting the cause? So with that said, Peter from day one has always been here to try to help. And I feel that way. And those that are active on our team, those who are on our website, are here to help the planet. Those that we know that are interacting with us in a positive way are also here. So either join us or just don't be in the way of missions. Don't bother us while we're trying to help and prevent wars. Don't demand attention and do negative stuff for attention. Be a contributor of something positive. So that's all I'm going to say. And thank you again for being here, Peter. And thank you, everyone, for listening today.
You have been watching Disclosures. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Visit www.acio-official.org and www.readingsbyarael.com to book a private session with Jessica. Feel free to support our work. All links can be found in the description. Thank you, and until next time.